Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got bitch.
ChadArmesTV, we are back, and we've got one of the living legends out here, dude. We got CountryMane in the building.
What is happening, baby?
And we are here to do a sit down with Country. Country's family. He's behind the scenes. He does a lot of stuff to help us out. And Country's not only does security for Jelly, but he also does security for Hypnotized Minds, right?
Right.
3-6 Mafia. And also do music. And Country's got a lot of stuff that he could talk about. So we wanted to sit down with him. If you're new to him, he was just on the I Got Some Shit to Say podcast with some of the other people from Tough Protection and with Chill. But we're
Shout out to the crew, man.
Yeah, man. They're getting ready to go out on tour. We're catching him. Y'all go out in 2 days?
Yep.
Yeah.
2-3 days, yep.
Yeah, so we're catching them now. So we want to just kind of sit down with Country, man. So what we're going to do, like we do with these, we're going to sit and we're going to talk about, like, growing up. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
A little military town in North Carolina. And then I just grew up everywhere else around the world, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a North Carolina boy.
Yeah. So, like, growing up, did you was you heavily into sports or music or both, or how was it growing up in North Carolina?
It was a little bit of both. I really I got into the sports because I was getting long, you know,
yeah.
I was stretching out at the young age. So it was just like at that point in time, it was like a waste of height and talent to be that big and not play any sports. I was a baseball guy at that time, and football, but really didn't want to play either one of them because at that time when I was coming up as a kid, you had to be physical with all that, and I really wasn't that physically and prone. I didn't really, like, I felt like I was going to hurt people.
Yeah.
Just because I knew my own strength, and it was just like, well, I don't want to play football because I might hurt somebody, you know.
Yeah.
It was just that thing in my head, but it could have been whatever, but that's what it was. So I started playing sports, and the music came in when I was in private school. I was at a Christian church in Creekmore, North Carolina, and they had a record label in the school. So I only had to do a certain amount of classes for this deal. So once I did my first 2 classes in the morning,
yeah,
I shot down to the studio. If I was in the gym or I was in the studio, and I was just watching people do stuff. So all of a sudden, they just got to a point they showed me how to use a soundboard. And I was Wednesdays and Sundays, I was running the soundboard at the church. You know what I mean? So it was just like, all right, I was starting to like this stuff. And then coming up as a kid, we would freestyle on the tape deck. Remember how I used to hit the record button and play it on another track and just freestyle over old Wu-Tang beats and all that kind of stuff. So we just did that, and it became something. But sports kind of took me away from that, so I left it alone. When I got into where I am now, I thought, fuck, I'm around all these big-time legends and people and the resources I got. Why shouldn't I try to make something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come together with a few guys and make beats, and fucking COVID hit, and Chronicles of Elvis Presley became involved.
So that's a fun fact for people watching, because you've always been influenced and wanted to do music even as a kid.
Yeah.
It's just something that you put on the back burner because you said you was playing sports. Was it? You said it was football and basketball?
Football and basketball.
Yeah.
See, my mom and them wouldn't buy me no beat machines and all that kind of stuff. So I can get a basketball or a football quicker than either one of them. So it was cheaper, you know what I mean? So it was just like, all right, and boom, I became good at that. So it was just like, let's keep it moving. But then, like I said, like now, I be around these people. I don't think if COVID would have ever hit, I don't think I would have probably ever did that album.
Really?
To be honest, I don't think I would have.
Did it slow you down to where you could, like, focus on that because everything was
kind of
just...
it did. But see, I was going back and forth to Canada at the same time, and it was like unheard of at that time. Everybody was like, how the fuck is Country going back and forth to Canada?
Yeah.
And he's an American citizen, but I had all these clearances security-wise and stuff going on up there, so I was able to come back and forth. I had the paperwork from the border to Canada people and all that kind of stuff. So it was like boom, boom, boom. I was going back and forth, and I was just up there. Now I got in that accident up there with my four-wheeler, broke my damn wrist and all that, and then sat down. It was like album mode. I ain't gonna be able to do nothing else, you know what I mean? So I was just like, let me just go ahead and start making these albums. So I'd sit in this room daily and night, just like in Canada, bored in the house, like 300 degrees under, outside. You know, you can go outside, you just fall out. It's so damn cold.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't ever want to come outside. So I'd sit in the studio and just be like, boom, 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 and start making stuff. And then I'd send it back to Memphis to Say No, and he'd mix it up and put it out. And he's like, bro, this kind of sounds cool. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was listening to my own stuff, and then people up there were gassing, and like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I was like, yeah. Next song, you know what I'm saying? So I made another one. I kept making another one, but it just fell in line like that. And now it's fun. I be wanting to put a lot of time into it now, but I really still don't have the time to put into it because of set schedules with these artists that I'm dealing with. But I do get it to go now. You know what I mean? I get that time.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I'm gonna do what I can to help you out with that stuff, man. So y'all stay tuned with that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. And so let's talk about the security portion. Like, at what point, when did you want to get into doing stuff like that? Was that early on? Have you been doing that for a long, long time, or is that?
Yeah, it's been probably like 15 years plus or so, like 16, 17 years. I started off in the clubs in Raleigh, North Carolina, doing a little $60, $80 a night, watching people get hit with bottles, you know what I mean, a few hours type thing. And it was cool, but then I started seeing these artists coming through, and I'm looking at their security and stuff, and I'm like, bro, these dudes probably got it made over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro, they like everything. I'm just looking like, oh, I gotta holler at these dudes. So I went up and hollered at a couple of them, and they were like, oh yeah, get your phone number. It was always at that point where you would be, oh, I got you. That was probably the biggest word that I hated was those words right there. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know you can't expect somebody to just throw you into a situation or the game, period. But it was always, even if these same artists came back through your city 4 times, years time, every time they came, you was at that club or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, what's going on, country, da-da-da. Like, yeah, man, you need me on that road, bro, let me know. Oh, I got you. You know, I got you. And then I just got to the point
it became
where,
like a trigger.
Yeah, it was like a real bad trigger for me. It was like, I don't care if I'd called somebody to get a bag of weed. If you didn't tell me, oh, I'm on my way right now, or something like that, I'd be like, all right, cool. But when you be like, oh, bro, I got you, I'm already calling the next dude because you know.
And that's what I said on the text message to you today. When you asked about Hennessy, I said, I got you. But I got you. We brought it, though. So.
Yeah, I'm right.
I defied the odds.
But that was a trigger word. That was the main deal for me. But it's not anymore because, and, you know, I got myself and then I got other people, like I put people on. But when I don't give that excuse to nobody now. You know, if somebody calls me and say, bro, how do I get in this game? This and that, I just be like, bro, you just got to find the proper training. It's really who you know to get into this business, you know what I mean? A lot of people in this business aren't going to the trainings and going to the schools and stuff and learning the real execution of what we got going on. People think you got a 6 foot, 7'10" guy walking around and he's just a big body or because you're gonna have the littlest people trying to challenge you because they're like, oh, that dude probably don't know. They don't know what kind of fucking skills I got. You know what I mean? What kind of self-defense deals I deal with and none of that. Nobody knows that unless you know me. But everybody thinks it's that easy. Like, oh, I can do that. I can sit there and do it. No, you can't because as soon as shit hits the fan and somebody gets shot at, everybody's fucking running and hitting the floor. See, like the security game down you don't choose it, it chooses you. You know what I mean? Because it's a very short-lived situation for a lot of people. Like when I came into the game, I really thought that it was peaches and cream. I was like, oh, this is dope, but I got my own brand, I got my own company type thing, but I'm seeing other people try to do the same thing that I'm doing the same way in the short-lived. Like a lot of those people that I saw, man, I could probably only count on one hand now, if that. How many of them are actually still in here and relevant? You know what I mean? At that time, shout out to everybody who was in that grind, and the ones that are still here, I salute them. But a lot of people eliminated themselves because this game wasn't for them. You know what I mean? It looks cool. Everybody thinks it's cool to be running around here with the big-time celebrities and doing that, but you just don't understand the extra shit that's involved behind that. You know what I mean? It's cool to be moving and traveling and doing all that, but actually there's times where this shit gets scary. You know what I mean? Or it can be worrisome. Yeah. Because you don't know what's the next step or what that next man gonna do. You know what I mean? You don't know what no fan has on their mind or what any man's got in their situation. You know what I mean? So he might just pop up and be like, oh, I like that dude, but boom. You got some fans that's been creeps out here that's killed their favorite artists because of an obsession. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really know who to deal with when it comes to this. That's what makes it scary. and it's weird at times because you don't never know what's gonna happen. Like, you really have to be on your shit. Yeah, people tend to, have their little funds and all this type of stuff, but if you don't keep a good team, a solid team, and have some awareness of their training, bro, it's like you are going to be in a bad situation in this game, bro. So that's why everybody thinks it's cool. And what you see, everything going on, you just don't know what's going on behind that door. You know what I mean? And you're just like, man, your holidays are gone, your family time is gone, your relationship shit's gone. Yeah. All of it focuses on who you're working for. Your holidays are now their holidays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you really have to be able to give that the biggest part of, all right, I'm going to sacrifice the family, the kids, the woman, the lifestyle and all this because I want to do this. And that's what I did. And it pays off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you just got to say it. This shit ain't for everybody. It's just flat out.
I'm gonna say, you gotta be built a certain way.
You have to. It's not built for everybody, man. It tell you, it picks and chooses. That's why I said security game chose me. I was finished with basketball. Basketball just pushed me to the side and said, "Are you done playing sports?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yeah, cool. Yeah, I am done." But then the security shit just pulled me right in, and I'm like, I like this. You know what I mean? I like this. And then it got bigger and bigger.
How far did you get in basketball?
Yeah. I played pro ball. I was overseas for almost 9-10 years. I did a couple NBA summer league deals where I signed with the Hornets, and I did summer league with the Lakers.
Oh, that's dope.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
But that was a very short-lived part of my career. You know what I mean? Coming from college and trying to do what I was trying to do, and then at that same time, I think I created my own bump in the road with me wanting to be right back on the streets with the bullshit instead of actually focusing on the basketball. I wanted to be that big drug dealer at the same time because the money was coming good. I had a kid that my first child at that time, and it was just like, man, you're a big-time basketball player, but you're out here fucking pushing half keys and all this type of shit is dope on the streets out here. You know why? You know what I mean? It was never something I could even explain to myself until I got caught. Yeah. When I had to sit there and think about it, damn, I just fucked up. So we got emergencies going on. But it was like that. I fucked up. You know what I mean? And once I realized that I fucked up and I sat and I did my little time to think about it, I was like, this ain't for me. Like, sometimes I get weird holding my own bag of weed, bro. It's like, I don't want to go to jail with this shit. That was some fucking weed. Like, but it's 2022 now, but I really thought about it and brought my life together on it. It was like, you know what? The basketball shit's over. Security's in. I'm just sticking to it. Now I got the music shit going too. Eventually, I'm gonna stop doing security if the music shit takes off for me like that. But I'm not gonna stop it to do it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. I'm dedicated to that craft, but it's not my niche. You know what I'm saying? It's like I did a song with Narcotic, that Mobile Home Rich, and I said it in there. You know. Carolina raised me, Tennessee pays me, Protection World pays me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rap is just a phase, you know what I mean? It's just something I'm doing because it's fun, you know what I mean? It's funny, it's working. But until it shows me different, I'm sticking to what I'm at, my niche. I'm sticking to the security. I'm good at it.
Well, so around what time frame was it that you got locked up? Was it like early, mid-2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s. I did 5 years. And,
was it here or was it overseas?
Nah, I was in Kansas.
Okay.
In the state of Kansas, where my kids and stuff from, and it was just bullshit, first offense type thing. But I pushed a level on what I had, monetary wise and all that, so it made it a case. You know what I mean? So I had to go do some time. But the biggest thing was I wouldn't have had to do straight in the cell type time with the what they charged me with, but the severity level of it was I could have went to a mandatory drug treatment, which I did. You know, because it was a drug charge, so it was like a Citadel thing. So they was like, all right, we're going to give you 18 months mandatory drug treatments, and all these stipulations, all that, restitution that I paid, all that. When did the drug treatment shit, still was on the thing. Me and my PO did not get along at all. Okay. Like I wanted to try to, I asked her on a date. I tried to, you know what I mean? I tried to fucking hit on her and everything, trying to make a conflict of interest in between. Oh, she doesn't like me because I asked her on a date or this and that. I sent her flowers. I was just getting violated every time. You know, but I knew what I was doing. I was trying to get a new officer. I didn't want this woman. This woman was a fucking pain. And she was harsh. I'm talking about harsh. So I would just be like, I'd come in there with a little card, being all funny and shit, talking about, you know, you're a beautiful, sexy woman to me. She's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'll put your ass in jail right now. I was like, It's all right, as long as I can smell that beautiful perfume you got. And do shit like that, and she like, you can see the flattering in her face, but at the same time,
She wouldn't allow it.
Wasn't allowing this shit. Like, fuck off. And she knew what I was doing, so that's why she made it even worse. Oh, you like that, don't you? Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, second floor. And then went right back to talking to me, and then 2-3 minutes later, I look at the stairs and 2 officers. Yeah, Mr. Williams, you go in there, sit in that county over there for 30 days and figure out how much you like me. You know, bitch. I was like, bitch. I was like, all right, so this ain't working. It ain't gonna work. So it got to a point where she was just like, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and cancel this mandatory drug sentence, and you're gonna do your very much underlined sentence for the charges, and you're gonna go do this amount of time. So I was like, fuck me running. So I was.
And it was in penitentiary?
Yeah. El Rey State, yeah.
What was it like there at that particular one in Kansas?
It was cool. Like, when I first got there, like, I really thought that, perception of jail, when I first thought about it, I'm like, prison is like, damn, bro, you be in prison, motherfucker try to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to fight every fucking day on some shit. But really, it was a bunch of people that I was on the streets with that was with me selling, you know what I mean? So it was like a college for me when I got in there.
That's what Jelly said.
Yeah, it was like
a reunion.
It was like a big ass reunion. You knew all the people. You're like, bro, what's up? Bro, I didn't know you was in here. I thought it's like, but it was those 23-hour lockdowns in El Dorado when I was locked up that you had to go through to get classified to know where you're gonna go. You know, you know where your camp is, and all that. So I sat in there for like 64 days until I got that call. I was in there with Bond Torture Kill, B2K. The Bond Torture Kill dude from Wichita, Kansas, the little pastor dude who was murdering people. Yeah. He was on the lifer side of where I was at. We would porter for them. They were non-contact. You see a picture and know who it was, and then they would just have a slit, drop you would be mopping or whatever, and somebody say, oh, toilet paper. And he'd walk over there and put toilet paper on the thing, but you're supposed to do it from the side like this. Oh, wow. Because these dudes are in these cells and they got Gatorade bottles full of shit and piss. Because I've seen plenty of porters that coming in and out. It's funny as shit. They got that slide under the door. So they've just been collecting piss and shit for the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Then they get this little guy coming through here and he's mopping. They're like, hey, let me get some toilet paper. And you just see this guy through the slit, but you really can't see him. But as soon as you come over, he's like, oh no, bring it right here. And then you get over there, you go to reach that thing, they jump on a fucking Gatorade bottle full of piss and shit all on you. Oh, God. But you can't get this guy. You know what I mean? Because he's in the cage, and he's just laughing. They're lifers. Who knows? Who cares? They don't give a fuck. What are you going to do? Give them more time? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's when I was over there like, man, I wish one of these motherfuckers would. But I wanted out of that cell. Yeah. I was in there 64 fucking days. I went out. They were like, you want to work over the porter for this week? And usually when you're doing porter and you're about on your way out, they're trying to give you that deal to let you know, all right, you're out, you can move. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do this shit. Went over there. I didn't never get hit with no shit, but I didn't stay over there long because I started seeing the bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? Just take me back. This ain't worth being over here for 6 hours or whatever, dealing with these motherfuckers. Fuck them. They ain't got shit to do. So, but it was the easiest fucking deal. Like, I think it was just that prison. It wasn't
where you was at. Yeah,
it wasn't. It could have been dangerous and deals, but I knew everybody. It was cool. I'd play pinochle, gamble all day, and watch TV and eat. That's it. Wasn't like you had to go do hard labor time. It was a daycare, to be honest. Right. But it was just with your boys. And y'all had to go to this, couldn't go here and couldn't go here and got to be on your bunk. But shit, everybody getting their bunk, we just go ham in that motherfucker all night. Just laughing, talking, tripping till everybody pass out one by one. But it was the biggest, funniest bullshit experience I think I've ever had.
And so, jumping back to where you was talking about when you was in Carolina doing the security for $80 a night, you started seeing these other big artists. At what point did you get to where you kind of leveled up with that? Like, how did you go from doing
one of those I got yous?
It actually came through.
Came through. It was. I was actually putting up tents, the big white circus tents, type deals for like weddings and events and stuff. I was putting up a tent for some guys working for in Durham. And all of a sudden, that one of those guys that was coming through was like, hey, Country. I see his number on the phone. I dropped sledgehammer everything. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what's up, man? What's going on? He's like, hey, man, what's going on? He said, you in North Carolina? I was like, yeah. He was like, I got a double for you tonight. Can you handle that? Can you get to Charlotte? I said, shit, just let me know. Where you know in the V. So he was like, yeah, I need you to be in Charlotte, such and such. We go to this hotel, and then call this dude here. And then we'll get you straight. I need you to do this, and then after that's done, I need you to do another one. I didn't know who the fuck I was coming to work for. You know what I mean?
He just told you where to go.
He just told me where to go.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. All right, cool. Boom, I run, I get down. I don't even think I finished that job. I told the homies, and bro, I'm out. I gotta go to Charlotte, so I gotta go home, shower now, and I gotta get up to Charlotte. So I went home, showered. I was married at that time, and my wife, my ex-wife, she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I think this is it. I'm gonna go up here to Charlotte and work for who you working for?" I was like, "I don't know, you know, but I'm, this guy called me, you know what I mean?"
And you know that guy's
shout out to Big Jizzle. Yeah, Big Jizzle was my guy, you know what I mean? He was like, "CountryMane, do this, I need you to take care of that, I'll keep you straight." There was no price set. There wasn't nothing. It was just, "I need you to be here." Shit, I got all the way up there to Charlotte and find out who the first sport of the night was, and I was like, this is amazing. It wasn't me really doing the personal security for that person. I was just the person that would carry the pistol in the States. You know what I mean? It was I was able to carry a pistol, and the bodyguards that would come in. Obviously, the guy that put me on the job couldn't be there, so he needed somebody to go do it. So I was just that guy. It was really just back there with another guy, making sure that he was straight. You know what I mean? So that's how that started. And then the next hour after that, it was like 2 hours. I had to do another artist, big artist, and I was just like, this can't be true. In the same club, it's almost like you're here and my other client's here, so I'm in the middle of both of these motherfuckers just sitting here. They're not my
Can
clients.
you say who it is or no?
I mean, it was Chris Brown and Nelly.
Oh wow, okay. What year was this?
Shit, 2011.
Okay,
10,
so when
it was back in 2009, 10 or something, and I was just like, damn, I'm here working with Chris Brown there, but I wasn't direct with them. I didn't even talk to him.
But going from just doing the $60, $80 a night
to somebody not even giving me a price, like I didn't know what the fuck to charge. You know what I mean? At that time, dude gave me $300-400 for this with some tip on it, and then I got another one for doing this one over here. Yeah. About the same. So I'm like, shit, I went home with $600-700. Ooh.
Yeah, that's like a week at
that was a light bulb right there. I was like, oh, so they're kind of roughly charging $300 to $600, you know what I mean, dollars a night. I said, that ain't bad. Compared to $68, $70, $80, and we're about getting hit with a bottle and all this. Nah. I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump on this, I'm gonna try this. So it just kept picking me up after that first job. They were like, bro, you did a good job, Boom, another one popped. A couple weeks later. So I'm like, oh, then boom, when the dude was like, bro, how much you gonna charge me for that? $600. All right, cool. I was like, oh. They ain't saying,
$1,000.
Yeah, they ain't saying no. I was like, all right, this shit's something else. So I'm gonna work this for a while. So kept doing that and coming and boom. It just took off. Everything I made my mark. Then like people was like, hey, that's especially like when Pat grabbed me up. Pat was like, bro, I'm gonna fuck with you. He never told you I got you. You know what I'm saying?
It was just a different version of I got you.
Yeah, little bro, I got you, bro. He never said I got you. He said, but I'm gonna fuck with you, bro. I'm gonna fuck with you. So I was like, all right, bet. But I hit him up, Pat, all the time. That time he was like, hey man, what's going on? He said, man, everything good. He said, I ain't moving like that right now. You know, look things close and and I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. Just let me know whenever you're ready. You know, he's like, all right, cool. And one day, Pat called me. I ain't leaving since. Like, ever since then, it just got bigger and bigger. We got to the point where I was even renting a place for my own to stay. I was on the road with Pat 340 days a year. You know what I mean? That's how much it was when I was living in hotels, because I was always traveling. So I ain't had to put no rent. I had my dog at my mama's house, and I got a divorce, so I had all my shit on a trailer, one of my pool trailers, so everything I had was in there, and I was on the road. Yeah. I just send money home to my mom, feed my dog, to get dog food and stuff. My kids were with my baby mama at that time, so I was able to move and groove, and I came up. Like, I got a lot of shit taken care of that year.
What year was this?
Shit, Pat, that was probably 2014, 15, somewhere around that, 16.
And did you just meet him through one of these jobs you were doing, like,
no,
once you got rolling?
Yeah, I kind of bumped into Pat a long time ago in the studio in North Carolina. It used to be weird because Pat would be in a city you wouldn't even know it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Back then, like, Pat would be, you wouldn't even, like, there was my homeboy, my chick, at that time was Colonel Loud. He was doing albums with this dude. I'm like, bro, I went to high school with this, bro. I know this guy. And then, boom, I'm sitting there, and it's happened to be, boom, I popped into Pat.
Gotcha.
I got a feature for my artist at that time, Jersey Guard, from him. And ever since then, Pat was like, bro, I'm going to fuck with you, talk to you, boom, boom, boom. And shit, ever since then, Pat took with me out. He's like, man, you carry that pistol with you, can't you, bro? I was like, yeah, shit, I got you. Didn't it? Haven't left him yet. Him nor Jesus.
8 years later, here y'all are still. Yeah. And I'm assuming when you met Pat, is that how you met White? Because you and White are close too, right?
Yeah. I met White. I met White with Boston. Me and Boston. I was working the rubber band business for Juicy J.
Yeah.
And we had Minglewood Hall in Memphis. And while Lil White popped up out there, I still got the video of that shit on my phone. But White was lit. You know what I mean? At that time, So he tried to swoon past us to get on this bus to go holler at Juice. So I'm like, pop, put my whole arm across his fucking chest like this, like, yo, what are you doing, bro? And he's looking at me, he's like, oh, my bad, bro. My bad. He looks up at me and just, the fuck, where did that guy come from? And he just said, oh, my bad. And his wife, shout out to sis Nicole, she backs up and she's like, he's good, I got him, he's good. And then I'm like, who the fuck was that? You know what I mean? So I'm on the bus with Juice, and I said, man, it's a little white dude trying to jump on. He said, little white dude, come up. I said, yeah. He said, little white. I said, what? You know what I'm saying? Because I knew Lil White from back in the day, but there was a point in time where you didn't hear about him. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I thought, like, people was like, oh, no. At that time, you was hearing the Koopstas and Laura Infamous, rest in peace, both of them. And I thought that he was in the mix of, you know, Lil White might have passed away too, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really hear that part of it. But then I actually put my hand on this guy's chest, and then that was me grabbing the friendship for a big, long time right there. Just by me putting it, he was like, bro, I respected you because you're taking care of OG, big bro, you know. Bro, the way you did that, I respect that. I said, oh, Juice is in good hands, you know, But at the same time, I was unaware who that was. I didn't care. My job was to make sure that you can get up here on this bus. You know what I mean? Yeah. So me and Boston both were there that night. We was trying to jump on Lil White, but come to find out we became very good friends and family members now, and we laugh at the same motherfucker.
That is crazy. That's how that happened.
That's exactly how he'll say the same thing. It was like the Matrix. The country's whole hand just went, and my whole chest went out my back, and you just like, hold up, you know what the fuck's going on here? And then we was on the stage, and Juicy was like, man, don't let Lil White drunk, man. Don't let the nigga run across the stage, man. Don't let him cross the stage. Lil White was gonna do it. He was like, I'm in Memphis. Lil White. You know what I mean? That's why I love this guy. Like, he was so like, I'm Lil White. I'm gonna hit the stage, bro. And then I could see him. He was just like, he was drunk. He was just like, you know, rocking like, I'm in the run, country. I'm in the run. I'm looking at him like, I had my boys like, but don't let White come on the stage. And he's looking. He's like, I got him. Boston was on him. But it was just the plan is, if Lil White run across the stage, we gotta tackle him. That was the whole thing. That's what me and Boston had on our mind. And at that time, that's the part of the time and security that you wanted to just tackle somebody on the stage. You know, it's like, no, I dare somebody to jump on the stage. Woo!
And the story that would have been, with it being Lil White running up on a Juicy J stage,
it would have ran.
That would have been big. That would have been a big story.
That would have been a good one.
A misunderstood one, but a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's awesome that y'all are really close now. But I
sleep on that man's couch.
Yeah,
that man gave me a key to his house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just the love and loyalty that we have, especially with the 3-6 Mafia family and the brand. Yeah. They were the ones who told me to get on Jelly.
So that's how you met Jelly, was through them? Was it through White?
Through White, and Boston.
Yeah.
And all them. It's just, yo, you got to fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember the time where, I came out, I popped up on a few of the shows. Redneck Rave one time when he was out there. And a couple other shows, Riot Room in Kansas City. I was driving through the States and was hollering at Boston, yo, where y'all at? He's like, oh, we're at Redneck Rave. I'm like, what? Where's that at? I'm just coming through Indiana area. I'm like, you know what I mean? So I popped over to Redneck Rave, had a good time. You know what I mean? That was the first time for that. And then ever since then, like, Bubba came to me that next tour. He was like, hey, Bubba. He said, I know you're pretty high out here, but what does the man got to do to get you on? I want you with me. Well, that's whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Like, you can give me this. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'm there for you. I fuck with you, and I've been there ever since then. So it's never been a monetary gain thing with Jelly. You know what I mean? Jelly has to take care of everybody surrounding him. You know, sure. Everybody surrounding him is gonna take care of him. Shout out to Bubba. Yeah. But he was just like, man, whatever you can do, man. You know, and this point he was doing 100 calibers and shit like that. So I felt where this guy was going. But what's even bigger is the 3-6 Mafia family felt more than what I did at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Was this 15, 16, 25?
Yeah. They were like, yeah, that guy's gonna be something.
Yeah.
Like, he's really gonna be something, and look at it now. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Just in that stretch of time from then, he's fucking doing great. And not even where he's gonna be at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not done. He's just
That's the biggest thing. But that man looked at me and he threw the trust in me, and it's been that way ever since. You know, he brought me around his family, everything. I love every one of them. But this crew alone is just like, it's a deep hell. I got to meet y'all through that.
No, for sure, man. And we're family now too. And it's all, and like I said, we've known Jelly since. I've known him. Squints met him a little before me, but I met him in 2005. But in 2005, how I literally met Jelly, he was outside of a show. We met him, said what's up, swapped numbers. He was driving out to where I lived at, cutting records with me in 2005. Didn't know if he had gas money to get home.
Yeah.
He was that was the mode he was in back then.
Right.
But ever since then, he's always been close.
Yeah, me and Pat ran into him in Springfield at this little club one time. Both of us were performing that night, and it was just weird. It's like, boom, I see Boston in the park. I'm like, what's up, bro? What you doing? He's like, man, chilling. But here comes Jelly. What's up, Bobby? And Pat is going to Pat. What's up? So we all took this iconic picture I got, and I'm gonna post that bitch up today on Instagram.
In Illinois, Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah. That was years ago. You know what I mean? Everybody was slimmer and all that kind of shit. You know, and it's just like, I look at that picture and be like, damn, how far we've came to now. Like, rapping to this man's voice as being a portal to a lot of people's situations.
No, for sure.
Like, his music is therapeutic. It's exactly what he preaches on.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him more genuine as of most of it all, is that he's stuck to that. He didn't do the artist thing where he made himself into something and he flipped another way. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. He's like sticking to that and going further into his gospel to the situation.
I remember when he started, the therapeutic stuff started around 2010, 2011, because that's when he started that mixtape series called Therapeutic Music. Yes. And that's when that started. And then his music, like the style of it changed, but he's always done that style of music.
Right.
Almost since jump. What I do want to ask you too, since you do security for Jelly, which is more now like the country and rock crowd, compared to 3-6 is more is obviously just the rap crowd. Mm-hmm. Is there differences?
Huge.
Yeah. You want to kind of expand a little bit about the differences in it?
It's the fan base is all. It's kind of really still of a mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like you go to some 3-6 concerts where it's 70% Hispanics.
Yeah.
And a mix of whites and blacks, type genre deal. But then you go to a Jelly show, you've got more of just a predominantly white crowd, but you have black people in there, a lot of Hispanic people in there too. But then now that we're doing this rock and roll thing, you're dealing with a whole bunch of everything. But it's just, I can see the difference between the fan bases. You know what I mean? And with Jelly's crowd, when I first got around him, doing the meet and greets with him and actually sitting behind him or next to him and hearing somebody's problems, and I'm just like,
yeah, man.
Damn.
That people will unload, dog.
You know what I mean? I ain't never hear that with being around Juicy or something.
Right.
You know?
I guess just because the music is different. It's more.
So it blew me the hell off. I'm like, yo, these folks are talking about putting guns in their heads.
Yeah, man.
This type of stuff. And
you changed my life.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And I was like, what? And then go over to when you do a Juicy and them interview or something like that, and you just be like, yeah, people just talk, but they ain't coming out talking like what they did with Jelly. So I was like, bro, this guy is really, like, if he wasn't a musician or anything, he'd be a very, very well established pastor or something.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? He could be the Benny Hinn of it. You know what I mean? Like he had it going. I was like, this dude's amazing, and I still see that. Like, stuff that we talked about 4 or 5 years ago, we manifested into a lot of what's going on now. Just cutting around the bus, man. One day we can ride around here on tour buses. I've been on tour buses, but the crew that I came up with them, we was in vans, trucks, cars. You know what I mean? Sprinters. Now that we're on 3-4 buses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I like to see Jelly just sit there and, like, I know it hasn't really fully caught up that where he's at. Yeah. I really think he's really taken piece by piece so he doesn't overdo his stuff.
For sure.
Or he tries to burn himself out. I really think that he actually takes time and is like, all right, I know I got this many records, but gold records going, but he really doesn't see that. And out of his body, inside of his body, he's like, I know I got them, but I'm gonna get excited about one at a time.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Here's this one. Whoa, you know, God damn it! But he's got 3 more plaques sitting over there. He ain't gonna say shit about that. He's gonna let this one soak in for a minute because he doesn't want to overburn himself. It's just how it's not a like. That ain't probably how it is, but that's how I look at it. I just
that's probably pretty accurate. You know, and what's crazy talking about what y'all were saying about one of these days we're gonna be on tour buses. July of 21, when y'all did those first few shows, I went out with him for the first couple. And on the bus, they were talking about, dude, in the next 6 months, we're going to get a private jet.
Yep.
And sure enough.
He was on a private jet.
Yeah. So, like, just going back to the manifestation, you know, that's kind of where things are at with it. I did want to ask you a few things, too. You were there for the 3-6 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony verses.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about how that went? Because we watched it, you know, we watched it on TV or on YouTube and stuff. But what was it like being there? Obviously, shit seemed to get a little hectic. Being that because we were on stage, like there's country's on stage.
My phone was going crazy.
Yeah,
it was going crazy. When I watch it now, I can just see when people were calling me, and I could tell who was calling me.
I talked to you that night on live.
Yeah,
you were live. I mean, you were.
I was standing there, and I look at my phone. And you can see me on TV like laughing and smiling, you know, and I'm like, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then I'm just catching all these calls like, oh, and then I'm starting to catch pictures. I'm like, oh, this is dope. It was a good night, you know.
Yeah.
Regardless on anything, shout out 3-6 Mafia, shout out to Bone. It was just a thing, you know what I mean? I think what really was the biggest thing is a lot of people thought that was a stage situation, and it wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just really, you know, busy being busy, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know him like that, but like I even got pictures of him just the way he was sitting there looking before it happened, and then when that situation happened, it was just uncalled for, but at the same time it could have gotten a bad situation. Yeah. It could have really gotten bad. We made sure that it didn't. Nothing really went down that I could speak about, you know. Yeah. But it was just, it just really wasn't a stage situation. It is what it was, you know what I mean? But 3-6 Mafia won that battle, to be honest. I mean, you know, straight up, I'm gonna say that we won it.
Yeah. Well, and see, being that you were there for the whole thing, could you feel tension building up before it? You think that energy was just kind of how his energy was, regardless?
That's just regardless. If you look at Bone, they tour those 4. They don't tour the whole group.
He doesn't tour with them? Oh, so it's Wish, Flesh, Lazy, Crazy? Okay.
You know, and he was there because of the verses.
Right, okay.
So, you know, he had to be there, so.
Their energy wasn't on that time, though, was it? No. They seemed to, I mean, because I think they're cool with like some of the guys from 3-6 still, right?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Shit, they got, we got a show with Bone on the 12th.
Oh yeah, that's the one you was.
Something like that's coming up here. Yeah, they got them, Trina and
the Legends.
And Bone, and we're supposed to be doing a whole tour with Bone. It was no love lost in that situation. Yeah, you know, it was just a misunderstanding on the team. It was a lot of fucking hype and shit going on. You know, this is 2 iconic groups. You know what I mean, with hits, nothing but fucking hits. Man, so it's just like. Yeah. Bone and 3-6 Mafia is like, oh man, this is gonna be a good one, but you know the hits don't match up. You know, Bone had a lot of good hits. 3-6 got thousands of motherfucking hits.
And they perform, and they're just performed better. And they're just better to perform too.
So that all it is. It was just a back and forth thing. It's just, you didn't see nobody else really get into it, but him over that little bitty dance and shit that Paul and Boo did.
When he threw the bottle, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, and
Juicy and Paul did not hesitate though.
He threw that mic at him. You know, and then you put a bottle of water in me, and it's on. You know, and then Juice, shout out to Juice, he be looking. I pointed. If you look at point, I pointed because I thought somebody was like trying. I knew nobody on that stage or anybody had any weapons. Period, because it was like a tight lockdown back there. Yeah. So it wasn't none of that. It was just the fact of somebody's movement. So I'm calling out. You know, and then. Here we go, you know. Everybody went in, but we got it all buxed out and everything. So it was Steve LaBelle was out there. He was like, "Man, we can't do this. We can't do this." And then you got cameras rolling and everything. You know, it's just like, we got all this. I thought it was gonna be so bad because it could have ended up so bad. You know what I mean? But it didn't. It really didn't. It
diffused it pretty
really quick,
yeah.
and then got right back to it. There was a lot of songs that didn't come on that verses because of that little burp of time.
Oh, so there was something that they didn't get to
there
do.
was like 5 or 6 songs a piece that never even got done.
Oh, that's fun fact.
You know,
Nobody would have known
that.
that.
Because it was like that little 20-minute scuffle knocked out a good little
time
part
frame.
of the show. Because each
yeah.
one was doing maybe a minute and a half of the song, and then boom, and then go to the other side. All right, your turn. So 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes trying to get everybody to calm down and scoot off the stage, knocked out a good quarter of that show.
Yeah.
So a lot of those songs didn't never pop up, you know. But it ended out well. We won.
Which answers the question when y'all said, why didn't they do this or why didn't they
Yeah,
do
because
that?
we were wondering about certain songs that didn't get done, and that's probably why. That
The
makes
major hits from both sides. You know, 3-6 was just dropping hit, and so were they. But it was just like the ones she was like, oh, this is gonna be the finale shit. Those ones never really got to pop out.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they had to adjust accordingly. I didn't even think about that because they're on that time frame that they had to like scratch a lot of that.
Yeah, that's an LA production. It was in LA where we did it, so you know they're quick to edit and do all that type of stuff. But they made it happen like that. That still is the best verses to me.
It's the biggest one. I mean, clearly, like as much as I love
shout out to verses.
Yeah, as much as I love UGK and as much as I love 8 Ball MJG. They're so cool. Bun's still cool with them so much that it was almost like a party.
Yeah, they were there too.
Oh, were they at Shaw's versus?
They bought MJG.
Oh, that's right, because they did Stay Fly. Yeah.
They was up there.
Yeah.
Wayne came out.
Yeah,
James Howard came out. Lil Flip came out. Lil Jon came out on their side.
Yeah.
Lil Easy, he was over there. There was a lot of people there. Fat Joe.
Was that your first time meeting a lot of those artists? Did you get to meet it?
Yeah, a lot of them it was. I met Bone years ago as a child when they first came out. They had this thing called Brown Bags that started in Hawaii when my dad was in the military. So I met them in the 90s. Early 90s.
Yeah.
They were out riding around in Honolulu on mopeds, and we found out Bone, Immature, and Aaliyah and them was out in fucking
96,
yeah,
97.
it was
probably.
out there in fucking Hawaii, and that's when we was there. So it was like, oh shit, go to this Brown Bag. They were giving tickets away for free for kids in school. We was in like intermediate school and shit at that time, or middle school. And they were like, oh, let's go downtown. They're riding. People saying they're riding down. And boom, happened to be right there. It was like, boom, and I met these dudes. And it's the same story I was telling them when we did the Lander Center with Bone and 3-6 at the time. I was like, bro, you don't remember Hawaii and such and such fell off a scooter and when y'all was running and because his shoestring got caught in the tire. And he was like, bro, how the fuck you know that? I was like, I was there. You know what I mean?
I was a part of that. Yeah.
I was there at the time. He was like, what? He was a great job, and ever since then, like, I've been cool with Lazy and all them, you know.
That's dope.
Because they remember that story, like, bro, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, I fell off that bike because that fucking shoestring hit that goddamn tire.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like,
It's weird how shit
comes back
lines up,
around,
dude.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was cool, but yeah, them boys, everybody was good. There's no love lost in that situation. Fuck, not even a couple of weeks after that fucking, I believe there was some studio work going on somewhere in between the deal. So
like mixed in between.
yeah, so it's not one of those beefs that's gonna drag on and you gotta worry about somebody being hurt and you know,
Yeah.
what I mean?
It was just for sure. So now I want to talk about Pelvis Presley. I want to talk about your music, right? You touched on it at the beginning of the interview. How did that come about? How did the name, like the whole, and then just kind of talk about what you got going on now, and what to close out, like as far as what with the music.
Pelvis Presley, it came up. Me and my brothers and then we played a lot of Xbox and stuff, and we would just come up with this funny, what would be your porn name if you was a porn star?
Oh, so it was just some silly stuff like that.
Some silly shit like that. So it was just like my boy, one of our brothers, David, was like, he said the word Pelvis Presley. It came out of his mouth first. I was like, I'm sticking with that. I like that. I'm Pelvis Presley. You know what I mean? To this day, he's like, yeah, I kind of need some royalties from that, little bro. It's like, fuck you. It's mine. You stick it. You know what I mean? You call yourself this a stroker ace or whatever. I'm Pelvis motherfucking Presley. So I ran with it, and then I was riding on the road with Pat. I was like, yo, Pat. Because Pat was like, man, Country, you ought to He said, you ought to make an album, man. You can be funny. You know what I mean? He's like, you can be funny as hell. And I was like, man, I said, yeah, I'm calling myself Elvis Presley. I said, he said, what'd you just say? I said, Elvis Presley. Him and Ray was in the car laughing. He said, Country, you gonna win with that shit. He still saying today, he said, Country, man, you just do this like this, bro. You gonna get this, bro. He
said something about it when we met him.
Yeah, he was talking to me yesterday. Last night, he was like, bro. He said, bro, Country, your shit gonna catch. It's gonna eventually catch. Like, cause for somebody who doesn't rap, I don't rap. I don't know how to rap. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know how to rap, but I don't know how to rap. It's hard as hell to how to write a song. You know what I mean? So I just be like, I've been getting it. I get better every time I get it. But it's just the name Elvis Presley, aka Stroke Travolta. You know what I mean? That shit's hilarious to me. Those are, you know what I mean? Those were my porn names.
Oh, that's great, man.
So I stuck with it. I might have to get away from it a little bit because I'm flirting with a motherfucking demon when I'm fucking with that word Presley, and it's got a piece of Elvis in it. Like, shout out to Elvis, I love him to death. But that's gonna cost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somewhere or another, I like my album cover is fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. The Chronicles.
See, when I try to put it up, the first album, the first cover I had, it got shot down, like bad. Like they were like, oh, this and that. There, I was like, oh shit. So I was like, all right, fuck them. I'm gonna go hard at this bitch. I'm gonna put fucking the house in the background, and I'm gonna blow my face up and add it from that face up out. You know that face and shit. So I put my face on the other. I'm like, it's just a bomb. I'm taking it. Yeah. So I said, I'm running with this shit. So I blew it up. If you take that picture of me off of there. Yeah. I'm standing in front of the house like this.
Yeah, and I'll put the album cover on the screen.
Yeah, that's where if you take my face off there, I'm behind that picture.
Yeah,
you know, doing this, and that was a part of the first one, and then I had pictures of other stuff in the house. You know what I mean? Like the jungle room and all that shit. Like actually, it was like, oh, you can't take pictures or videos. And I had it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they were. They fucked around. It was like, nah. So they shot me down quick on all that shit. So I was like, you know what? I have to be very sensitive to this, or I'm gonna get sued, and I don't care. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's gonna be funny. All you're really doing is making my brand jump more by suing me.
Well, look what happened with Jelly.
Waffle House.
Sued him and
he was on Jimmy Fallon. They talked about on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Yeah, fuck that. Sue me. Fuck it. I'm 6'10" black man named Elvis Presley got sued by the Presley Foundation. You know, oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
But that's dope that you're able to do that, man. And that first project was cool, man. It was dope. You had stuff with Lil White and Crunchy and the chat, White Gold.
Yeah.
Yes, and then of course now you're collabing with
Jersey and Quake, my boys from North Carolina.
Yeah.
There's only one song on that album that I did by myself and never dropped it hot. Everything else had a feature.
Yeah. And so, are you just working on just singles, or are you just, as you get time, you're putting songs together? I've
been doing a lot of features here lately, and then I've got some singles going on that I'll eventually push into an album or something. But I've just been pretty much describing singles. My problem is actually getting them mixed down right now, having time to have them sent out and get mixed up. You know, I got a lot of shit ready to roll, and then some of it is slowly coming in, but a lot of the features are coming because of somebody else's song, and they're getting it done. You know what I mean?
Right. So, you just have to lay your vocals.
Yeah, because I got my whole studio at my house, so I just do it right there raw, and then bounce them files and send them to somebody. Like, hey, can you mix this? And then like, oh yeah, I got you. Da-da-da. So I've been doing that. But I've got a lot of shit ready to go, and there's some hard shit. Yeah. Some hard shit. Like,
let me hear some of it.
Yeah, I'll let you tell some. I got some hard shit though.
We still got to do some stuff together.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to work with everybody. Leroy Big, shout out Leroy.
Yeah,
shout out Chad. Yeah. I want to do a little something with everybody. I've got a lot of legends out here that I've dealt with, and shout out to all of them for fucking with me and the people that fuck with my music, period. You know what I mean? Because I really didn't expect or think that it would go that way. You know what I mean? I feel, it's funny and everything, but when I look at a stream things, there's some money there, but I ain't looking like it's gonna change my situation. I'm gonna stop this. You know what I mean? Nothing like that, but
it's just fun to do.
It's fun to fucking do.
That's what it's about, dude. And you've already got something that you're you know, as far as your profession, that's doing well for you, and just look at it as just something fun to do. And if something cool happens, then something cool happens. But either way, it's something cool happening because you're getting to make music with with people that you
with
fuck
your
with.
friends, yeah. And it's funny as fuck because one of them's gonna go. It might not be now. You know, it might be 4 or 5 years from now. I could be gone and dead. And then this one song cuts into a situation that's happening. You know what I mean? And it just
you never
goes,
know.
whoop, goes.
Yeah.
And it's one hit wonder. So I'll be like, shit. I just like having fun doing it. Like, I like, especially with the band that we got with Jelly, 36 Hour Band. I mean, shout out to 36 Hour Band.
Shout out to them.
I want to do something with them. Yeah, a couple of them are here right now.
Yeah.
They're doing phenomenal shit.
Yeah, they're doing really good.
You know what I mean? And Jelly has really put a group together, some boys, some men, a team, production, management, everybody. That it's a wheel. Like it's not a squared out Pentagon type thing. Nah, it's a wheel, and it's a well running wheel. You know what I'm saying? And it gets better and better every day and week. There's a lot of situations hell I probably don't even know about, but it's never went the opposite way since where we've been climbing.
Yeah.
We haven't even looked back type thing. It's just like, oh, what happened? We did 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Where were we at?
We're 2 weeks ahead now. You know what I mean? So that's the way like this wheel is busting, and it's just getting better and better and better. Every day, it's exciting every day on these deals because you find out something new. You know, they might, we got to go here. Same day we go here. We're going to take this and go this way. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, for real? And you wasn't even expecting that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hell yeah. Then, boop, it happens, and you're back, and you're like, oh, we actually did 2-3 cities in 1 day or 2 days. You know, 8 o'clock we're on a plane, landed somewhere at 10:30, do an event, 11:30, coming right off of it, get on a sprinter, drive 2 hours down the road to another deal. Do that right there, you know what I mean? By that time you get done, by 5 o'clock you're getting on another plane and landing on the East Coast of damn where for a fucking 15, 20,000 people festival. You know what I mean? And you're like, we did all this in 1 day. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
It's dope, man. It's so cool to see. Speaking of that, y'all are fixing to go out on tour. How long y'all gonna be going for?
Shit, 11 weeks.
Are you gonna be there for that whole? Are you on the whole 11-week run?
Whole run.
Yeah.
Whole run. Yeah, he's got a couple tours. This is another fucking dope ass situation. I have never in my life seen somebody run 4 or 5 tours at the same time.
Because he's doing stuff with Brantley first, right?
Yeah, he did the Brantley stuff. He did a little. We finished the first one of his part. What we did from last year, and that lot of the cancellations towards the end of COVID shit.
Yeah, the East Coast
that
stuff.
started it, and then we was a little break in between that, and then another tour ran into that. You know that we ran around, and then he did the Brantley Gilbert tour, and we're about to finish that part. Then we have the Coetzel stuff, and then we've got I forgot there was another one, and then Shinedown.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I think there's another 1 or 2 in there involved as well that he's got going. Everybody's working with that, man, and I don't know. I think we should call the Guinness World Book of Records and see if if we can get a little record here. The most tours
in 1
active
year.
tours in 1 year at the same time. Like he can just make it one deal. This is my tour. You know, that's the name of it, and then you can tell where the breaks are. But it's not even 3 days in between. Like you're doing,
I was noticing
you're doing that, and then boom, you're off, and then you're on another tour, whole nother vibe, whole nother fucking fan base. You know, and he's right in there.
Which to you have to adjust to that accordingly, correct? Right? Because it's different. It's not like it's a 10-week tour of a Jelly tour where it's the same type venues. Right. You're looking at, well, he's not headlining this one, but I'm sure all that comes into effect with you guys too.
It does. It does, and you just gotta be, like I said, you gotta be knowledgeable of what's going on, and how to make the movement happen. Yeah, there's different types of crowds dealing with different artists, and to mix those two in together. And you just have to be like, all right, how is this gonna happen? You know what I mean? But it goes well. You just really gotta let it do itself. As long as you just let it do itself. If you think about that, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this and that, something's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen because you thought about it too much.
It's again you're manifesting, just like what Pat told us. When he manifest, like you're thinking something too much,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, good or bad. But
you might not like it.
Well, dude, we really appreciate you sitting down with us, man. This was a really dope interview, and I'm glad that
Appreciate y'all, man.
you know we're going to be working with Country more. We'll put the link to his Instagram if y'all want to follow him, and we'll put the link to his album for y'all to stream his music too.
Appreciate that.
And
Don't message him asking him how to get in the show or where the after party is.
yeah,
What y'all need to do is make sure y'all tune in to ChadArmesTV out of this bitch.
hell yeah, man. Appreciate you, dog.